Hi everyone, Kaya Hunter, Money Coach here. I help women create financial peace of mind. I'm back from Sydney and back doing my Friday Lives, which I actually kind of enjoy doing. So as you might have seen on my page, today is all around kids and money. And I want to cover off a few things. I'll talk about younger kids first, and then a few ideas if you have teenagers like myself as well. So we kind of cover the gamut. And don't forget, if you've got questions, feel free to pop them in below, and I can answer them as I go through, or I can answer them again later for you as well. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is around kids and pocket money and how I do it and how I suggest. And I know there's a few different ways to do it, but what we do in my house is I give my daughter pocket money each week. She's 13 now. She gets $10 a week. It's not attached to doing any chores though. So she gets $10 a week regardless. Having said that, she does have a bunch of chores that she is responsible for doing. But what I didn't want to do, and like I said, this is just the way we do it, there's no right or wrong, I don't think, is I just didn't want to attach her having chores to getting paid for it. I didn't want her sticking her hand out every time she fed the animals or every time she unpacked the dishwasher. I wanted her to be responsible enough to know that those are her jobs, and she does those regardless of whether she gets paid. So that's what I do, $10 a week, and she has, you know, chores that she has to do. And when we first started talking about it, I said that's the way, you know, we sat down and I told her that that's the way that it's going to work. And what I do on top of that though, because she's trying to save some money, we're going to Bali in a few months for my birthday, she's trying to save for these $1 million headphones that she wants. So what I've said that she needs to do is come up with that herself. So on top of her pocket money, what I do is give her money for extra things, bigger things. So she might wash the car, or she might do some gardening around the house, just trimming and weeding or what have you. So I do give her extra money for those things on top of her extra pocket money. So she does get extra money for jobs and so forth. So that's the way that I've done pocket money. As an aside, completely separate to that, I've actually been putting away $5 a week for her into a bank account for years and years, and that's her, you know, forever money. It's not much, but it adds up over time. So that's what I do for her in terms of pocket money. But what I would also suggest that you as a parent do is teach your kids about money, because I just don't think they're taught enough about money at school. So particularly given these days that we do live in an invisible cash society, you know, everywhere we go it's tap and go, or we buy things online, and they don't often see, I know my daughter doesn't, but she doesn't often see actual real money. So we do live in that invisible kind of age. So I tend to talk to her when I'm transacting. So if we're at Coles and I'm tapping the card, I'm explaining to her that, you know, it's actual real money. I don't just tap a card and it's magic money that comes out of nowhere. It's real money, and we talk about that. I also get her in the supermarket to look at things and, you know, choose things which is the cheaper, and not just the cheapest by dollar amount, but actually having a look, you know how they have those X amount per 100 grams, getting her to look at that and not just look at the cheapest thing, but, you know, what is the cheapest by weight or whatever it might be. So teaching her that sort of thing as well, how money works. It doesn't, you know, just magically appear. So teaching her that. The other thing that I'm teaching her is saving. So she has 3 jars. She has her spendings jar, which that $10 a week I give her, she divides up. So she'll put some into that spendings jar, and she can do with that pretty much what she wants. And then she has a savings jar, and that's for her bigger savings things like the $1 million headphones she's saving for. And then she has a givings or a charity jar as well. So she has to put some money into that so that she can give back. So they're actual, like, just those kind of jam jars that I got for her, and they're labelled, and she allocates her money. She's got a book as well that for the headphones, she's worked out when we go to Bali how much she needs to save, and she's worked backwards, and she knows how much she needs to save each week until we go to Bali, and she's got a list of jobs that she's doing so that she knows what she needs to do to be able to get those headphones, so she doesn't have to listen to me on a plane, I think. But anyway, hello, Mother. And I guess that brings me into teenagers and what you should do, or what I think you should do with teenagers and money. So, you know, if you've got a 14-year-old or over, chances are that they work. So my suggestion would be is to sit them down and get them to work out their own money plan or their own budget. So work out, you know, how much money they're going to be earning each week, and get them, with your help obviously, to create a budget for themselves. And similar to like the jam jars that I do with my daughter, have them create their own budget. Have them do things like check their pay slips each week. So you know, how many hours did they do that weekend? Were they paid for those hours? Were they paid the correct pay rate? So getting them to have a look at those pay slips each week, and not just trusting that their employer's doing the right thing, not that they wouldn't, but sometimes accidents or mistakes happen, but just make sure they're getting paid the right amount each week. You can also encourage them to save. Like when they're doing the budget, make sure they're allocating a certain amount of money each week into savings. And also you could look at opening a bank account for them, going along to a bank and opening a bank account and starting those good money habits. The other thing with teenagers is, and I strongly, strongly suggest you do this, is teach them, if you haven't before, what the hell the difference is between a credit card and a debit card, and the pitfalls of having a credit card and the ins and outs of having a credit card. So for example, going, you know, a $500, $1,000 credit card, what that means if you don't pay that out in full every single month. So what the interest they're going to be paying back, and they could end up paying that $500 or $1,000 credit card back threefold if they don't pay it out in full every month. So teaching them the difference between credit cards and debit cards. You don't need a credit card in this day and age just to buy things online. You can easily do it with a debit card. I don't have a credit card, I just have a debit card, and I'm still here. I'm still able to buy trips, pay for trips rather, and buy things online. I don't need a credit card at all. So I will wrap this up, but there's a few tips in terms of teaching kids about money. So I hope this has helped. If it has, please, oh my God, I can't talk. Please feel free to share my video. This is Kai Hunter, Money Coach. Have a great weekend.